Welcome everyone. I do not know if I'm live on LinkedIn or not. Let me double check. How do I kick this off on LinkedIn? Let's see. Events. Let me see if this is live on here. Do I hit join? It says starting soon. How do I join this? How do I kick it off live? About networking. Let's see. No. Go back. Click that. That's not doing what I needed to do. Go back. Share shows after the broadcasting and refresh and update the status. Let me see if I refresh this. Probably should have did a dry run of this and read events and details. Let me go back to here. Here, let me look on my calendar, see if it was a different link. On the calendar, let's see. See if that does anything. Okay. Manage, cancel event, delete event, manage attendees. Justin, are you there? My man Justin, are you there? I don't know if I'm talking to anyone or if I'm just talking to myself, but I'm gonna just keep it positive. All right, let's figure out how to get the live going. Click to join. It's not going. Let's see how to start the live. Let's see if there's a button inside of here. Let's see if I click that, if it takes me into live. Oh, there we go. We're live. Great. All right, I'll keep it going then. Welcome everyone to the Firestarters Live. This is something that I'm passionate about right now. I think that with AI, we are going to be inundated with like so much AI generated data. I don't know if y'all seen the what's it called, Go Bananas or Nano Banana or whatever, but even just the videos, down to the videos that we have and that we share, are going to be touched or tailored by AI in some way, shape, or form. So with that being said, I took it upon myself to say, okay, well, hey, how do we be different? How can I be different? How can we stand up inside of society the way that I feel like people are going to start showing up? And honestly, for me, that means live streaming. I think that this is one of those content, ways of delivering content that is going to be hard for the hard for AI to kind of replace or step into the place of that. And then the other piece is like in real life, activation. So the more exclusive, in real life, community-based events that we can have, I think just the more value that it brings to the communities, right? Because again, everything's going to be AI generated in some shape or form. I don't have a problem with that. However, I do think that this will be that new space or the new frontier where people will be able to kind of show up and showcase, right, their content and just show up in a different way. And we got a lot of the signals kind of happening, right? You got Gary Vee like screaming to the top of his lungs about live auctions, and we've seen over the years with the different live applications, LinkedIn. I'm streaming this on Twitch. I'm streaming this everywhere I possibly can stream right now. And the whole idea is just because I want y'all to know it's me, it's authentic. It's not going to be perfect. I'll get better at this as we go. But we're live. We're here. You guys can see my big old head sitting in my office talking about cultural insights. But what sparked this was I wanted to come out with unique ways to share with y'all the Nichefire platform on a weekly basis and hold almost just public demos, right? No pressure. You can always come join. You can send your friends to these. We'll always kind of video them, tape them, repurpose the content, and next week we'll do it again. So just for a quick 20 minutes or so, just hear me out. I want to dive into a topic that I feel a lot of my friends and colleagues will appreciate, and the name of this topic is called Treats with Macros. So without further ado, let's kind of just jump into the Nichefire tool as I explain, first of all, what Nichefire is, and secondly, the idea behind this topic. So Nichefire is a cultural listening technology, and we are leveraging AI and many different data sources to help businesses identify those cultural insights that are emerging, right? Before they go mainstream, before they blow up, we want you to see, what's bubbling up amongst the culture. And that word culture in itself is a loaded word. Like it can send people in a bunch of different directions. But to be specific and just very clear, when we say culture, we're talking about those shared beliefs, shared behaviors, attitude, rituals, language, gestures, all those different elements that kind of make up who we are, right? And it drives the decisions that we make, and it drives how we show up for companies, how we show up for things that we're passionate about. And the idea is to be able to capture that early is the leading indicator of, great opportunities for your brand, whether it's new products, it could be new marketing strategies, it could be new areas or frontiers that you want to cross over into. Now, again, we love to kind of promote that our platform is a cultural listening tool, but I think what we found out is that this is really built for the C-suite, right? We want this to be that tool that your leaders of the company depend on to kind of get that quick answer and quick heads up around, what's the tea, right? What's happening within the culture. So Nichefire, we're currently working with a couple of CPGs in the food and bev space. So a lot of my topics in these webinars are going to be geared towards that. But we are also working within apparel, QSRs, quick serve restaurants, traditional restaurants, all of that good stuff. So I think this will be a little bit for everyone. But what I did was I created this topic called Treats with Macros. And what this is doing is it's a live living dashboard that's going to help us stay on top of the top cultural trends around these treat with macros. And one of the reasons why I wanted to call this out, and if you guys follow me, you guys will see my most recent, not my most recent blog post or newsletter, but a couple weeks ago, I wrote about an experience that I had this summer where I found out that I had type 2 diabetes. And as big of a shock it was to me, it was almost just a confirmatory thing. I've been eating like trash, got away from my original, regimen of just kind of eating and working out as an ex-athlete. And it was a huge wake-up call. And one of the things that happened that I wrote about is how I noticed that push for GLPs, right? So the first trend I want to call out in this space is really like a why behind these treats with macros, right? The fact that diabetes is one of those diseases in America that is coming up a lot, right? And we have these different GLPs emerging. First one was Ozempic, and we've seen, all the things that happen with Ozempic from the fast culture, with, celebrities being called out on it and stuff like that, to some of the more subtle things that we've seen early when individuals were speaking about, different things as far as like side effects and, not being able to eat chocolate or not being able to enjoy their foods that they like, or, needing those macros because of the lack of food noise that they have. So just like any other product that hits the market that's successful, you have other competitors that kind of come to the space. And that one that's being talked about now a lot in the culture is Wegovy. So you've seen a lot of people kind of talking about Wegovy. And what I do, and what you can do in the Nichefire platform is literally just tap right into specifically that part of the culture, right? What are people talking about when it comes to Wegovy? And why does this matter, right? Well, it matters because these GLPs have been proven to shift how our relationships with food, right, as human. And if people are eating less, then what does that mean for your food and bev company, right? It doesn't mean that people will completely stop eating. I think it just means that the way that people eat has to change. And I think that that's not new news. That's not, that it might be more of a confirmatory signal. But what the Nichefire platform is doing is that within this Treats with Macros topic, it's calling out this Wegovy weight loss journey as one of those top trends to look at, because when you dive into the comment sections of some of these clusters, this is when you can start to kind of understand and understand from that perspective of the people like me who have to switch to these more high fiber, high protein type of snacks. So again, the cool thing about the Nichefire tool is what we'll do for you is we're going to resurface all those areas in the culture where those conversations are the most prevalent. So within this Wegovy one, the one that I clicked on, the first cluster I clicked on was called Personal Weight Loss Reflections. And then here you see that you have the ability to go into these subreddits and dive into those conversations that people are having around that particular topic. So what I do, and you guys, if you guys follow me, you guys will, see me talk about this before, is I just turn all of these comments into PDFs. So how I do that is, I expand all the comments, and I make sure that, anything that was deleted or anything like, especially in Reddit, you have to come through and just expand them all. And then I turn this into, a PDF by hitting print, and just instead of selecting a printer, I turn it into a PDF. And then from there, I take these verbatims and I run them through my cultural GPT, where I'm able to pull out sentiment. I'm able to pull out mentions of brands, mentions of symptoms, mention of XYZ, whatever I'm thinking about. And I can do that at scale, because now I have a direct path into those subreddits that matter the most around this particular cluster. So part of the human element, right? And I want to kind of stop there and talk about this piece, because when you introduce an AI tool into an organization, right? Some people may have fear or feel that the AI will take away from their jobs and stuff like that. And guys, this is not one of those situations. This is a true tool to kind of help you speed up how quickly you can do work. So the idea is that human element still has to be here. Nichefire will help you identify those areas of interest that matter the most. That human element is here to come in and understand, from the forums and blogs or from the subreddits, what are those verbatims or those areas within the conversation or within the culture that resonate with your brand, that resonate with your mission, that resonates with your story that you're trying to tell. And from here, we had a bunch of verbatims, and I have a list of verbatims that I saw that I wanted to call out. Because again, as you can imagine, this is, well over, 150,000 comments or so from Reddit, from TikTok, from Blue Sky, from forums and blogs, from Twitter, right? Those are the social platforms that are available in the Nichefire platform right now. But some of those verbatims that I thought were interesting were, and this may not be a shocker, but even in other countries, right, the conversation around the price of these GLPs continue to come up. It said that they started paying $330 or euros, and insurance won't cover it for them, right? So they're going to be paying cash now, right? So again, that is a signal that you hear a lot from the culture around these GLPs, is the accessibility to them. Insurance companies only cover you for GLPs if you have, especially in America, if you have diabetes, if you have sleep apnea. I think more and more of these, diagnoses will warrant acceptance to these GLPs over time. But it's still happening over in Europe, because you see this person saying they were quoted $330 to get the Wegovy, and even though their insurance won't pay it, they'll still pay cash for that, right? And all this is just kind of confirming that what we know about these drugs, right? People everyone's not like me. Everyone can't just go back to working out and doing doing. Some people need a little bit of help, right? And some people are willing to kind of take that, take these GLPs as that help that they need. So with that being said, more and more people will be using these GLPs over time. Wegovy is the one that a lot of people are talking about the most. It seems like it has less side effects and things like that people are talking about. A lot of people are switching from Ozempic to Wegovy. So I thought that was one that we wanted to call out in the demo today. The other ones are more snack related. So again, like what that means is that if more people are eating GLPs, more people will need, these high protein, high fiber snacks. And you can see some of them kind of popping up as like chicken breasts and like chicken skins and air fried protein bars. But one thing that I wanted to jump into was the macro friendly vegan treats, because I think that that's a nice crossover topic there. Macro-friendly snacks aligns with those like emergent values for a lot of companies right now, because again, if people are changing their relationships with food, they'll still need things to satiate those cravings when they do have them, or when you're when you know that you need to eat, if you're on a GLP or something like that, and you want to eat something but you don't want to eat something bad, people want to lean into more macro-friendly type of treats. So the vegan piece, though, is that other side of it where you see a lot of people right now kind of switching to that more plant-based diet. So again, like this vegan macro treats is a good trend to kind of call out. And actually, let me go back because I skipped over the projections of the Wegovy weight loss journey one. Let's see if we got a prediction in here. And we can see that prediction line there. So again, as you know, it's pretty high on that interest level. It's above 50. But again, this same time next summer, it'll be almost at 80. It's what we're predicting. I think that this line just continues to go up and up and up. The more that technology advances, we learn more about the GLPs. But going back into this vegan snack, let me see, where were we at? Vegan snack, macro-friendly vegan treats. This one is another one that kind of follows that same line where it's like, it's going to be pretty steady throughout the rest of this year, but even come next year, it's going to be, higher. And I think that this just kind of slowly rises as time goes, because it's not a bad indulgent. And that was another piece of the research that I was able to kind of confirm by looking at across, not only this trend, but about 6 or 7 other trends, is that, and the next trend will kind of tell this story a little bit better, but the shame that you give yourself when you are on this health journey is real, right? So when you do eat things, you want to make sure that they're feeding your body or giving you the right nutrients that you need. But even with this being said, with the plant-based vegan stuff, right? The shame that you get from indulging in a plant-based snack is not the same as if you go off your diet, if you go off into another, if you ate regular ice cream over vegan ice cream or something like that. It shows that people kind of have a more tolerant to kind of indulge into these vegan, more healthy snacks, as opposed to traditional regular snacks. So again, with that being said, I think this is a good opportunity for brands to kind of create a bunch of vegan protein, fiber type of bites, and really just kind of lean into that. Let me see some of the verbatims that I was able to pull out. So this is one. Macro-friendly mousses, 15 grams of protein and no weird aftertaste, right? It actually says macro-friendly mousses slaps. So if you say something that slaps, for those that don't have, teenagers at home, that means that it's good. And the fact that at 15 grams of protein, you don't have that weird aftertaste, the aspartame or whatever is in there that gives it that weird taste. Oat milk foam is elite. It is an elite protein for coffee. Almond always split on me, right? So what they're talking about there is just the plant-based alternative when it comes to your coffee creamers. I did a deep dive for a customer around cold foam, cold brew. That's a huge trend right now when it comes to coffee. But the oat milk foam is elite, and people are saying that it's not separating as much when it hits the coffee. Let me pull out one more. Funny how my plant-based obsession led me to plant-based proteins, full circle, right? So again, like, it's confirmatory, but again, I think that one thing that's interesting is like when people come to thinking about these macro led treats, they're looking for vegan macro led treats as well. So vegan protein, and you can see some of the clusters here, plant-based lifestyle challenges. Clicked into vegan ice cream, but this is loaded with comments and areas from TikTok, Reddit, where individuals are really talking about those flavor palettes, what they care about, and again, that human element is the person in your organization that would go in and do that for you. And we're coming around on 10 minutes left, so let me land this. And the last topic was high protein treats and snacks. So this one was interesting, and I put that in my LinkedIn post when someone was saying that 17 grams of protein was like, that was like the sweet spot. Like not 20 grams, not 15, but 17. And there was something about the moistness that this individual kind of was calling out when it came to that. But again, finding that insight came from me diving through, this protein pack cookie innovations topic, and just being a nerd and just kind of vibing out on the comment sections. And that's just something that, as a social listening, social intelligence person, that I automatically do. I think the difference is that now with Nichefire, it's going to help you point you at those areas of the internet where you need to do that more, and then leverage these comment sections to distract those those moments where people are saying stuff like that. And I thought that was a killer quote, right? When the person was saying like, hey, 17 grams of protein. Let me find that exact quote. I got them written over here, so forgive me. It was something like, hey, not 19 grams, 17 grams. Let me see. Gas station fine, 20 gram protein bar. And that was another thing that people were talking about is like, hey, it's usually like 20 grams or whatever, but 17 gram of protein tastes like cake. So I bought 3. And that was literally a quote that came from this from this protein pack cookie innovations cluster. So let's go down to the predictions here on that. And just like the other trends, right? We're at a level where it's over. As far as interests are top of mind for the culture, like a lot of people understand like these things are happening with the protein snacks and stuff. But look at next August where it is compared to now. It's almost at 100 between now and August. So this just kind of Nichefire is telling us that the protein snack area, the culture is definitely polarizing. Like it's going to be pushing people more and more to look for these type of trends. And the cool thing is that there's so many different other trends that are there and available to kind of dive deeper into if you want to talk about keto breakfast or air fried protein bars, right? The Nichefire tool was here to kind of help y'all see what these trends are, and then not only be able to kind of identify these cultural trends, but help you dig into the why behind them so that you can communicate to the leaders of your company like, hey, guys, this is happening. Let's do this, right? What are the questions that we can ask based off of the culture and what we see now? How can we help market research be that much better in that next in that next study that they're doing? How do we help the R&D departments ideate and come up with better products that align with the culture? That's how you need to be thinking about the Nichefire tool. And again, it's very easy to use. I always say it's so easy a football player can use it. But with that being said, I don't know if we got any questions, and I don't even know if I'm technologically advanced enough to do that. We got about 5 minutes left. Like I mentioned before, this will be an ongoing thing. I'm gonna try to do every Wednesday, at least 3 to 4 times a month, where I come in, I'll dive into a topic, I'll dive into some predictions, we'll try to kind of throw out some ideas and stuff like that. And I don't think I got the comment section working right, because it's not, I can't even like talk to y'all like I'm a real streamer. I can't even like say, hey chat, like every 5 seconds, right? But I hope that y'all found this valuable. Like I said, I don't want to make these long and drawn out. The nature of the insights that our tool provide is really just to kind of speed up that human element for teams, and not spend a whole lot of time diving into the resource, spending more time ideating and deciding what you want to do with the culture is our goal. So with that being said, catch me on the next webinar or Firestarters Live. And like I said, I'm going to try to do these weekly on Wednesdays and come and just kind of bring you guys a fresh demo of the Nichefire tool and just dive over some new topics. So totally open for suggestions. I want this to be something that's engaging and that the community likes. And again, I'm going live so y'all can see that it is me. It's not me. It's not my AI generated content. It's no M-dashes. It's just Big Lil and LinkedIn and Twitch or wherever I'm streaming this at. I don't even know if it's working, but it's just me, y'all. So open for suggestions, open for any specific topics or areas that y'all would be interested in. And I appreciate y'all rocking with me for half your lunch today. With that being said, since I don't know how to work anything, I'm gonna just end it. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.